Hello, and welcome. 4 months ago was when I last did a podcast, and 3 months ago was when I did my last video. And 2 months ago I told you that the Pop Call Pod was dead. Because that's how I felt. That's probably how a lot of people saw it. My heart wasn't in it anymore. I wasn't doing this anymore. For 1 week now, I've been telling you everything's about to change. I've been telling you that you're not ready for what comes next. My hope is that when all this is done, you'll see that everything has changed. But you'll at least be ready for what comes next.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system.
You're not ready for what comes next.
Please stand by.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. I am your cult leader, Tompott, and this is the State of the Pop Call Pod address, where I'll be looking at what's in our past and how we can finish it up, and what's coming in the future. Thank you for joining me. And the first thing I should probably mention that's new is the logo, which you can see behind me, which you can see slapped on our presidential podium right over the president's seal, because I come first. Now you might say the logo looks pretty similar. In fact, it still got the symbol for film, television, and video games, because that's still what the tenets of the Pop Call Pod are. But it's a little bit different, because to be quite honest, the old logo, as much as I liked it, the formal frame and the font kind of didn't really suit what the Pop Call Pod had become. It had kind of become a bit more surreal, chaotic, and angry, and I felt like this new logo better represented that. So the logo is one of the first changes to come tonight. I know what you're saying. You're saying you brought us all here, you made all this noise for a logo. It's fine, it's a nice logo, but seriously? No. I didn't bring you here just for a logo. I brought you here because we're about to put an end to some of the stuff that's been here since pretty much the beginning. The first one being this.
Oh my god! Surprise lesbians! Oh hey everybody, Andy's back. Look, Andy's here. Hey, he's here, back.
Nobody cares.
She's also given a good guy's all by Tiffany, who for some reason is the guardian of her niece. Apparently everyone was just cool with that.
You don't seem very motherly.
She's dead, Miss Pierce.
Save me the trouble.
Fuck you!
Fatality.
That's right. Finally, after starting over a year ago, I can finish a series look. A series look is a review of the Chucky films, and I've really enjoyed reviewing them so far. I was ready to review these and finish it up a long time ago. In fact, this was all filmed in September. But I kind of had another few projects I had to work on, and because of that, it fell by the wayside. But thankfully, a bit of time away has given me a chance to finish it, and I will even say this, it's better now than it would have been when I had finished it back then. I've been able to put a bit more effort into reviewing the remake. I've been able to do a bit more research on the rights of Child's Play and talk about the future of the franchise. And I'm very happy with the end result. And it's finished and ready to go. But as I said, it kind of got taken over by a big project. And that big project was Deadly 7, which is also coming to an end.
Silent Bob. No, Tompott. My name is Tompott. Fuck it.
Jesus. So that was the end of Deadly 7, and Deadly 7 was a series I started to review extreme horror films, and admittedly, extreme horror wasn't for everyone. In fact, I will even admit that I wasn't really into extreme horror, but that's why I found this to be an interesting series, and over time people have kind of been checking out the videos and I've been very happy with the response to it. But naturally, if you're going to end something extreme, it needs to end extremely, and it needs to end violently. And this episode is where Zobo, who recommended our film, Zobo with a Shotgun, finally comes back to get her revenge. But of course, I also have to review the most infamous extreme film of all time, which is The Human Centipede, and if you're going to end with a bang, you might as well do the whole trilogy. So, Deadly 7, where I review the Human Centipede trilogy, is coming very soon. It's the longest video I've ever done, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. It's part review, part violent recreation, and part storyline that picks up with me in a mental asylum after being driven mad by these films. Now, I said before that Deadly 7 was the biggest project I'd ever done before. And I said that a series look was a lot of fun. So, what happens when I put those together? Well, you get our new biggest project. This one is coming soon. I hope. Welcome to a series look. Today we're looking at one of the most iconic, longest running franchises of all time. Bond. You have to let me do the thing. James Bond. Yeah, now is the time to run the... That's right, apparently I'm still mad because I'm going to review every James Bond film for the next series look. That's a lot of work. I know it took over a year for me to review all the Chucky films, but don't worry, this one won't take as long. You have my word on that. All of part 1 is already filmed. I'm not reviewing the second part of the films this week. I'm going to film that this week. And hopefully, sooner rather than later, before the next James Bond film hits theaters, we'll have a series look on Bond. It's easily the biggest project I've ever done. When all is said and done, there's going to be almost 30 films I've had to look at for this. And from my notes, I've already written 15,000 words. And I haven't even got to Daniel Craig yet. So yeah, this is easily the biggest thing I've ever done. Now, a series look was kind of the second recurring series I started. The first one was Any Good, where I reviewed movies that were coming to cinemas. Well, there's nothing coming to cinemas, so what does that mean for Any Good? That's right, for Any Good, I'm going to review weird films on Disney+. We can't get to the cinemas, so if we're looking at streaming, let's look at some of the weirder stuff. We're going to go from Disney's 50s, 60s, 70s period, you know, where they had all these weird live-action animation blends that didn't really work. And what we're going to do with that is something pretty ambitious, so I can't share anything else about it, but I'm hoping that it's going to work out if I at least try. And speaking of trying, what happened to Tom Tries? That was a series where I didn't really necessarily have to talk about film, TV, or video games. I just did stuff I wanted to try out. It was kind of weird and fun and doing more YouTube-y things. Is that coming back?
Yo, what's up, MTV? Welcome to my crib. The fridge, we keep that shit fully stocked and locked. Milk, we do that shit by 3 litres. That's right, litres, because we have this system in Europe. Shout out to the metric system. I found this thrown in a bush. Labour Pains with Lindsay Lohan. The last DVD in my collection. What a way to end this video. Well, back you go.
Tom Tries is coming back with force. It's going to be sometimes a bit more related to the rest of the podcast with film, TV, and video games. In fact, the clips you just saw were from a tour of the DVD and Blu-rays I own. Some weird, some not that weird or not that good in quality. But there's going to be some other things. You saw kind of a few made-up ones there, but some of those could be real. I really enjoy this series because it just means I get to mess around with a few more things. But I know what you're going to say already. Those are all things you already do. Are you not going to do anything new? And I am. For a long time now, film and TV and video games are the three things from the Pop Cult Pod, but film and TV were easy. Video games is the one that always got kicked to the side. It kind of got overlooked compared to the other two. That changes now with Game On.
Oh, hello. You must have just walked in on me being casual. But I'll tell you what you'll never catch me being, and that's a filthy casual. Game on! On! Well, computer, what are we going to talk about today?
Today we will talk about The Last of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us Part 2? But aren't we living that life every day now?
Yep, I picked the right time to start a video game series, right when one of the most controversial, divisive video games of recent memories come out. The Last of Us Part 2. So this is the start of a new series, and if there's some big video game news, game on. Some big video game needs to be reviewed, game on. And maybe I might even stream some stuff on Game On. So this is something new, and hopefully it'll be something that'll be around. What any good is to movies to have its video game equivalent in Game On. And if you want to check it out for yourself, come back Friday, because Game On is going to premiere right away. You won't have to wait long. But it's not the only new thing I've been working on. In fact, a lot of people have always asked me questions about the Pop Cult Pod. Where did it come from? Well, I'm going to try to answer those questions. What is the Pop Cult Pod? Where did it come from? How did you become a cult leader? What sort of cult is obsessed with film, TV, and video games? All these questions, and probably more answers than you ever needed, are going to be answered in History of the Pop Cult Pod. For this, I gave access to a documentary crew, to me, to the compound, to the archives, and to interview anyone they wanted to. And because of that, I don't know if I'm happy with the result of what they put out there. As you can see from the footage there was alligators, Nosferatu, skeleton? Well, a skull. These are just a few of the things touching the tip of the iceberg here and what the history of the Pop Cult Pod is. And I'm probably going to release this in a little bit of a different way. It's not going to be a load of episodes. It'll probably be mini episodes on social media and then one complete video when I put it on YouTube. But it's going to be interesting. Trust me. Whatever you thought about the Pop Cult Pod, it's going to get a bit weirder. If you thought it couldn't get any weirder, it will. And I know you were saying everything is going to change. I told you you're not ready. You probably go a bit bigger, Tom. What are you hiding? Well, this one is a big one. This is what I mean when I said everything's going to change. Because the podcast is going to change. For good.
Live from the garden.
Very softball question. What's your favorite show? And Megan Whitman says, I'm not really an entertainment person. You're in the entertainment business, Megan. Are you lost? The prize is 10 grand and a lava lamp. That's not 10 grand each or a lava lamp each. That's 10 grand between 3 people and a shit lava lamp. And it's like it's not enough money to the point that anyone really cares. Like when you watch American Ninja Warrior, you're like, holy shit, this guy is nuts. This guy's like, I'm not gonna fail. I'm a Marine. Ah! But here it's like a mother and her kids, and they're like, yeah, we're just here for fun. I'm gonna use this money to buy some groceries, and then this is painfully accurate if you've seen the show. Podcast is a train wreck, dude. In this, the first of the trilogy, Bruce says to Alfred, you haven't given up on me yet. To which Alfred replies, never. Disappointingly and perhaps uncharacteristically, that is exactly what Alfred done in The Dark Knight Rises, the third film, deserting him at the time he needed him most. Oh, that is a salty fanboy. Do you hear that? That's not even trivia. That's just like, he said he'd never give up on him. Why did he give up on him? And they just know that didn't come from a place of like just reflection. Like, oh, he said he wouldn't give up on him, but he actually did. That was just him. Back in 2012, he was watching Dark Knight Rises, and Michael Caine comes in and is like, I won't bury another Wayne, or whatever he says, and walks off. And then that guy was in the seat like, he said never! Monster Hunter starring Mila Jovovich. Mila. Someone said, move, Jovich, get out the way. Because Monster Hunter is delayed. Director of The Invisible Man and Upgrade is going to take on the Wolfman. Ow! That wasn't very good. This podcast is a train wreck, dude. That wasn't very good.
I think that counts as a pretty big change. That's right. The podcast from now on isn't just to listen to. Now it's going to be live. Now it's going to be on video. And what does that mean? It means if a new trailer comes out, we can watch the trailer, we can dissect it, and I can show you what I'm talking about rather than just describing it. What does it mean if there's a new poster? We can look at the poster, analyze the images. And when I say we, I mean you can interact with the podcast live in real time. If I make a mistake, if I fuck up, you can call me on it and make a fool of me. Thanks. It sounds like it's going to be very daunting. And look, there is going to be roadblocks to going live. You could have issues with going live at times, and YouTube is ever changing with regards to copyright and that kind of thing. But if nothing else, this is a commitment that from now on, the podcast is going to be video based. And just because it's video based doesn't mean you can't listen to the podcast like you used to. All it means is that maybe on Wednesday we'll do a live video podcast. Thursday, the video will be put onto YouTube, possibly slightly edited. On a Friday, you can listen to the podcast on your normal platform. So the regular podcast isn't going anywhere, but now it's more accessible, more detailed, and more interactive than ever before. Because, of course, we're talking about visual mediums. It makes sense to use visual mediums like YouTube, like live streaming, like video. And I know that there might be problems, but trust me, it'll be worth it in the end. So, that is the end of the State of the Pop Cult Pod address. I want to thank you for watching this. Whether you try to watch it live or whether you're seeing it now, thank you, and thank you for your support so far. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, because I mean it when I say I can't spell cult without you.